Alright, everybody, it is the evening of Monday, November 20th, and I'm back up in here in that thick, like, mixture of habitat that I shot that buck, that I killed that buck in back at the beginning of the month, the last YouTube video I dropped. And we got some sickness in the house, so I didn't get to hunt this morning. But I managed to make it out here for a quick afternoon hunt because my wife was going to lay down with my boys, so I got the green light to get out here for a couple hours. And when it's November, you gotta get out when you can, and that's what I'm trying to do this evening. We got a front coming through tonight. It's gonna be under a wind advisory tonight and tomorrow. It's supposed to be dropping a couple inches of rain the next couple of days, so I'm hoping maybe with the front rolling in and it being late November, from what I've heard people talking about, this time of November is when they typically see a lot of chasing in this area. But like I said, I don't know for sure. But we're out here in the woods. Again, we're hunting this cut hardwood edge, a lot of mixture habitat, a lot of security cover. We got some strong winds coming in tonight. They're gonna pick up as the evening goes on. We got a couple hours of prime hunting, and I'm gonna really have to be on pins and needles in here because it's thick, and you know, they can appear and disappear just as fast. So it's definitely gonna be a challenge to spot them, get the camera on them, and if a good one comes through, get a shot on them. So we're settled in here. It's a really good buck area. I've seen bucks every time I've hunted it. I have not hunted this particular spot in the evening though, so we're gonna see how it goes this afternoon, and maybe something will come through and we can get some video or something. So y'all stay tuned, and we're gonna turn the camera on if something good comes by. Well, I've been really lucky in this spot so far, the couple times I've hunted it this year, of the wind doing what it's supposed to be doing. That is not the case tonight. I don't know if it's that front coming in, but I mean, I'm getting some awful swirling winds. Talking about 1 minute it'll be perfect, hitting me right on this cheek going back that way, and then the next minute it'll be hitting the back of my neck and my ear going back that way. But I know we have less than 2 hours until I'm not going to be able to see it anymore. But I'll hang out for a while. I don't know, that really bothers me. I've really put a big emphasis on the wind this year and not hunting a spot unless I can get in there clean and out clean. And this isn't what I wanted, but it's the rut and anything can happen, I guess. But I'm a little bummed out about that, so we're gonna sit here till dark and see what happens. But that wind is not being my friend right now. I guess that's that North Georgia mountain wind for you. Just kind of has a mind of its own. What you gonna do? Still no luck. Wind's still swirling pretty bad. But thought of something I just wanted to put in this video real quick. I carry a mini little pocket Bible with me when I hunt. I try and stay off my phone and read a little more, and that's always a good thing if you can read a little more. But I've heard this scripture a lot, and I've read it several times, and it means a lot to me, and it's really good to think about. I'm just going to share it on this video. It might make it somewhere and it might not, I don't know. But it's in Proverbs 14, verse 12, and it says, "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death." And that little bit of scripture can apply to I mean, the Lord can interject that into so many different situations that we face in this life, but at the end of the day, we really just need to be worried about pleasing the Lord. That's goes with so many things. I think about it from a hunter's aspect, and there's all sorts of things that this world says is right, but you open that Bible up right there and it'll tell you what's right and what's wrong. The world wants to manipulate it, twist it in so many different ways, but there's only one right way. Just one. There's many different wrong ways, and all them ways are enticing, and they seemeth right unto a man. But the end thereof are the ways of death, and that's exactly where a lot of the things in this world will lead you. And I think that's why I enjoy being out here so much, is you can just kind of get away from everything. It's just you. Right now it's just me by myself in the land that God created, with the animals that He created. And I have a love and a passion for them that He instilled in me. And it's nice to have a little bit of a break from all the man-made things and man-made philosophies. And right now it's just me, the Lord, and His creation. And I can get mighty close to Him up in this tree. And I say something just a little trivial, and I understand why they say it. There's a lot of people say, I don't need to go to church because I get closer to the Lord in the tree. And I understand that. I understand being able to get close to God in a tree. But I believe His people ought to be around each other. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. You need to be around your brothers and sisters. If you are saved by the grace of God, they'll sharpen you and you can sharpen them. And get together and worship Him in the way that He intended for us to. I believe there's a need for people to be in the church. I'm not saying you can't get close to the Lord, but I'm saying that hunting is not a substitution for meeting out at His house and worshiping Him like He intended for us to do. But that's enough of my soapbox. I wanted to share that scripture. Just felt like it. I'll get off of my little soapbox here and get back to hunting and reading a little bit, meditating on some scriptures. Y'all stay tuned. Maybe He'll send us a good one by our way this evening. If He does, that'll be a blessing, and if He doesn't, I'll still be blessed to be out here. So we'll catch back up with y'all in a little while. think I just shot a pretty good deer, guys. Alright guys, well I walked down there and looked. I didn't find the deer. So I went back and rewatched the footage. Found exactly where he fell at. So I'm on my way to go look exactly where he fell at and see if I can't figure out exactly what's going on. I could have just been excited and walked right past him, but lined up with that pine tree. Right in line with that. A little like stick sticking up over here. Right there. Deer should have been. I gotta calm down and think for a minute. Cause I ain't finding blood or nothing. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure something out in a second. I think I hit the very top of this deer's back. I don't believe I fatally hit this deer. I think I nicked the top of his back, which caused him to drop and flop and get his legs back up under him. I mean, there's no hair or nothing. It was on my off side out of the saddle. Make extremely disappointed. Because I left the camera going to make sure I went to where he was. I walked and I looked and I went everywhere where he was. He's not there. There's no blood, no hair. I think I shot clean over this deer's back. I'm right in here to where the deer was. Right now. I'll get back with y'all in a minute. Alright, well, me and two other guys looked for a little while, and we're pretty sure we were looking exactly where the deer was, but to me something just wasn't adding up. And from what I could see on the camera, we were in the area within 10-20 foot. And we combed and looked, never found any blood, never found the deer. And was pretty sure that I nicked the top of the back from what I could see on the camera, and it just stunned the deer. Almost just shot completely over him. So I came back home and pulled the footage up and got to it. And then I was able to see exactly where the deer was. So I actually, while reviewing it, I was able to see where we focused on and then where the deer actually was. So about 9 o'clock tonight, I drove back out there and went and looked exactly where he was. And as you'll see in this footage right here, I shot him and he dropped and he rolled a little bit and he got in the tall grass, and I was not able to see him anymore, or else I would have put another round in him. And I didn't see this happen while I was in the tree. It must have been while I was climbing down. I left my camera recording in the area where he was, so I could make sure I went to the right area. And he got up as I was starting to come down the tree and went a little ways and then fell again. And then when I went back out there and looked, I found where he fell initially, and there was no blood, no hair, just a little wallered spot. And I found where he got up and kind of drug a little bit and fell down again. And then after that spot, I found his tracks where he had got all four legs under him and he had went down the ridge. Again, no blood, no anything like that. But and if you go to about right here, I think I just shot a pretty good deer, guys. He gets up, falls down again, and he continues on down the ridge. I've watched it a couple times now. And I can see just a little something right there at the top of his back. If I'd have hit him anywhere else, there would have been blood or hair. There was nothing. And the way he got up and was able to get his feet back under him, as much as it stings, I'm fully convinced that the deer's he's gonna be just fine. Really, really good North Georgia 7-pointer on a windy afternoon. Cutting down that edge I was talking about, that thick hardwood edge. Was just going down, and he was following the way the thermals was going. He had went down and hit a little ditch and was on his way down that ditch. So last hunt, the hunter worked perfectly and the camera didn't. I messed the camera aspect of it up, and tonight I was able to get the camera on the deer for the shot, and I messed the shot up. I got excited, saw he was a really good deer, and I think I pulled my head up just a little bit. It's 100% my fault at the end of the day for not settling the crosshairs. He was on my weak side out of the saddle, and it made it a little bit more difficult to me. I had to get above the camera arm and shoot over the camera, but at the end of the day, let a little bit of excitement get to me and just lifted my head up a little too soon and just nicked the top of his back. But I've scoured a lot of that area. I found where he fell both times and where he got back up, and there's no blood, no hair, no anything, and he got up the second time and was walking just fine. So that's it stings, but all we can do is get it back out there and try and do better. So move on to the next hunt, the next situation that we can focus on. Thank the Lord for the opportunity we had. Pray that that animal has no side effects from today, that he's just fine, maybe a little sore, but we want that deer to be just fine. No part of me believes that was a lethal hit. Didn't draw blood or anything, so I think the deer's gonna be just okay. But it's the ups and downs of hunting and self-filming, I guess. I missed out on a couple perfect close broadside shots while I was trying to get the camera on him before I ever picked my gun up. And the shot I had was a hard quartering away shot, which I'm comfortable with taking 100% of the time with my rifle. But I just didn't do my job tonight. So really good deer, let him get away. All we can do is move on, get on the next hunt, get on the next deer. So can't let it sting for too long. But we'll catch y'all later, and thanks for watching.